Boss Cowboy Sports, where your voice matters.
Yeah, moving too bossy, we don't tread softly, but not flossy, the streets done taught me, moving too bossy, we don't tread softly, but not flossy, the streets done taught me, I'm just tryna get my nigga paid. We came from Section 8, and I knew I was at since the second grade. Man, I swear my time is coming, cause I'm never late. Came from broken homes and broken dreams to getting paid.
Boss Cowboys.
Your voice matters.
And it does. Yeah, man. It is how you finish. So yeah, man, I gotta break this whole thing down. Because to be all the way honest, I think the mics are being represented a little bit wrong. So I'm gonna talk about it because it's a lot, in my opinion, that is not seen. So I want to break this down because Mike Zimmer getting a lot of credit, but I think Mike McCarthy is missing some key credit. So as we evaluate, I want y'all to really listen because I think I'm gonna break this down very good. This gonna likely be one of my best. Sit back, I got you. It's how you finish. Yes, sir.
Boss Cowboy Sports, where your voice matters.
You gotta snap some collars and let know you there to take them out anytime you feel like it. You gotta get the ground beneath your feet, partner. Get the wind behind your back and go out in the blaze if you got to.
No watch, no diamonds, no watch, good timing, yeah. New watch, no diamonds, no watch, good timing, yeah. Need no middleman, I'm the man to man, send it in. I like what I like, me, I know my rights is sipping in. I like having fun, I do what I want, it's what it is. For my son and son, for my daughters, yeah, it's for my twin. I work through the night, I do what I like, get a check, I go for the ride. I've been down a ride for the win, still move on the hush, never run for none. I face my fears, I just drop for none, month to month, still from year to year. New watch, no diamonds, no watch, good timing, yeah. New watch, no diamonds, no watch, good timing, yeah. I'm sporty and rich, I'm sporty and rich, I'm sporty and rich. Do it again, again, again. I'm sporty and rich, I'm sporty and rich, I'm sporty and rich. Do it again, again, again. Get some checks, I invest, and I spend a check. Spend a check, get it back, then I take a rest. Only race is the human, I take care of my skin. I was doing this as a rookie, now I'm up to bet. Set the trend, set the pace of play. I don't trip, but if I fall, bet I make a way. I take trips in the fall, watch the leaves change. I like to treat every day like it's my B-day. No watch, no diamonds, no watch, good timing, yeah. New watch, no diamonds, no watch, good timing, yeah. I'm sporty and rich, I'm sporty and rich, I'm sporty and rich. Do it again, again, again. I'm sporty and rich, I'm sporty and rich, I'm sporty and rich. Do it again, again, again.
Man, welcome to Boss Cowboy Sports where your voice matter.
Do it again, again,
I
again.
need all the executives to have a seat so we can talk some ball.
Do it again, again, again.
All right, so this is gonna be probably one of them ones because this is gonna be insightful. Obviously, when I dig into history, I always come up with some stuff because when you look at stuff in hindsight, it's very insightful. I was explaining that there's some things going on where I don't think we are really evaluating what's really going on. When I look back, I saw some things, confirmed some things that to me should help us as we kind of going through the evaluation process with the coaches, because that's what this is about at this point. It's about evaluating the coaches, evaluating the players, and doing it in the most fair way possible. Because during times like this, especially when it's losing involved and we out the playoffs, it's usually a lot of emotions, and we got to be careful when it's a lot of emotions, because when we can make emotional decisions, emotional judgments, emotional opinions. So as much as possible, I try my best not to do that. I'm not gonna act like I'm not above that. It can happen to anybody. It can happen to any one of us, where we can get over our skis. So in my personal opinion, I think some of us is sometimes getting over our skis, especially when it comes down to us trying to evaluate Mike McCarthy. I think we looking at some of the things straight up wrong. Now, there are some things he's guilty of. I'm gonna talk about that. But there are some things that he's done great that I don't even think's been counted towards him, because everybody now seeing the value of Zimmer. It's real clear what Zimmer's doing. And I think his popularity is growing, and rightfully so, based on the job he's doing. This is like a 6-week run of, to me, good schemes, good defensive performances, and then steady improvements. He's making his mark where it's undeniable. So, he's likely and rightfully so getting a lot of praise. But I'm going to always go back to something. I'm going to periodically talk about this, because I want us to be a very smart, a very effective fan base. So, that's one of the reasons why I have, obviously, the slogan for the channel is "Your Voice Matter." But see, this is the thing, and I'm going to be all the way honest with everybody. Our voice matter on good ideas as well as bad ideas. So occasionally we have to talk about being a unified, smart voice and having a temperament that'll cause us to push the best ideas forward as a group. One of the things that we got to watch for is what I call the Book of Boss. And these are major principles that I truly believe in. And this is the Book of Boss Ego Edition. So I got the Coaches Edition, I got the Ego Edition. And we got to watch for this, because one thing that the OC and I agreed upon, even at the very beginning of starting the channel, is that we was going to conduct ourselves in a way to where the best idea was going to be first, and the best idea was going to always win. We was going to fight it out, or whatever we really believed to be true, but we was all going to be open to the case that the other could make, so that if that person makes a solid case, we will both come around and put that idea first, right? Because that, we believe, that's when you're trying to use your voice for good, right? So under the Book of Boss, one of the laws for the ego will help you, okay, greatly, right? Help us as we trying to figure out. This go get back to Mike McCarthy. This go get back to Zimmer. This go get back to decision making. But you can use this in life. So I said never work with or for someone who bets against you in any form. Because more than likely the accuser would do everything in their power to appear right on their negative opinion. See, and that's what happens, especially during times like this, to where we're losing. Or there's times to where there's conflict, like contract disputes. So, for instance, it's people that begin to not like some of our players due to the contract disputes, because it was a time of friction between front office and that player. And then what happened is opinions begin to be made about certain players based on that friction. And some people never divorce their opinions. I guarantee you right now, there are some people that right now don't like CD Lamb. Now, that sound crazy, but it's true. Why? Because during the contract dispute, or when he was learning and trying to become an under one and he was being discipled under Mari, they bet against him. And when they bet against him, they trying to do everything to appear right. And so they are just critical. Yeah. And see, we got to be careful because it happens a lot. And right now, the prime suspect of this is Mike McCarthy. This is a time where a lot of people are angry, and we got to be very careful of a lot of rage bait content where people will basically put out a lot of stuff that's actually false because they know you're angry and they're trying to feed into it because that makes you watch more. But they're not sometimes balanced as they're trying to really critique what's going on. So I'm gonna tell you how to spot it, and then we go get into the real value and really break down what's going on and the truth of Mike McCarthy and Zimmer. So one of the most important things on how to spot the sinners is what I call it, the sinners. The people who sinning against the book of boss, the type of people who, when they bet against you, they go stick with it. Okay, this is how you spot them. Number one, they don't give any credit or little credit once they bet against you or bet against something. So like, for instance, if somebody, let's say if they bet against Dak, they not giving Dak no credit. They will ignore all the good they see in Dak because they bet against Dak. These are the sinners of the book of boss. Or they bet against Zeke. They was in that crowd that said he's washed, right? And because they bet against him, they don't give any credit. Very little. They minimize almost every good thing. Yeah. So the same people who don't like Rico, they doing that to him now. They waited to the Tampa game, which was going to be a formidable opponent, right? You would have had to commit to running at them to really break that wall. And now they saying, see, Rico, he not all of that. Why? Because they bet against Rico. So they might have been the people that was in the Zeke crowd. So who they low-key taking shots out and giving no credit to? Rico. Right? Same thing happened with Mike McCarthy right now. It's a lot of people, because of this environment and because we losing, it's been a lot of betting against Mike McCarthy. So it's a lot of people that's basically not giving him any credit for some of the things that he's done. Or they're minimizing the things that he's done. Let me give you a perfect example of the minimization that's going on right now. So what they're trying to minimize is how hard the players are playing for Mike McCarthy and are saying it. So they minimizing it by saying stuff like, they playing for each other. Come on, man. Man, these guys under contract, they was go play hard anyway. See, that is minimizing the leadership of Mike McCarthy. Yeah, that's minimizing and giving little credit to what he's doing. And that's how you know that somebody is a sinner to the book of boss and the ego part. You can tell when somebody has bet against because they don't give credit or very little credit. They will hardly say anything good. And when you make a good point, they ignore it. Yeah. Another way you spot them. They a lot of times go do name calls versus good faith debates. So we having a real back and forth. Let's say we having a good back and forth. Logical, right? Here come the name calls. Dak lover, right? You making a case. Oh, you just a Dak lover. You making a case, right? for Zeke or whatever. Ah, man, you just a Zeke stan. The name calls. That's how you start spotting the sinners of the Book of Boss. That's how you start spotting those types that fall in love with their ideas to the point where they bet against somebody or something and they not letting it go. It's a bunch of name calling. Like even Dak Delusional. His whole name is full of an insult because he wanted him. He clearly bet against Dak, so in his very name is an insult. The name calls. Oh, you just a Zeke stan. You just a Rico stan. Oh man, you just like Mike McCarthy. You just like Zimmer. Nah. Nah. A lot of times they're accusing you for what they doing. And then number 3, they cannot change their opinion. These are the way that you spot those sinners, right? And these are type of voices, I'm gonna be honest with you, I can't work with them. I can't, because, or it's extremely difficult because you trying to reason and that person trying to win. So when we are like this as a fan base, the best ideas don't get pushed up because our ego's in the way. It's almost like that kid instinct in us, and all of us had this instinct. If you go to any kindergarten class, and I'm still gonna get down to Mike McCarthy, I just want to set the groundwork. So if you go to any kindergarten class and you say, what's 2 + 2? Don't say nothing. I'm gonna call on you. What all the kids go do? Me. We still kind of got that in us as adults. We do. It's a lot of that still in us as adults, to where we want to be the one with the answer. We want to be the one that the teacher call on and show how smart we are. So we sometimes make a declarative statement about a player, a coach, and once we say it and it's out there, we don't go back. They don't change. So when you see that you know you're dealing with a sinner. Yeah. You know you're dealing with somebody who is really not in the best interest of the cause. There's a little bit of us in a way when we conduct ourselves that way. So I had to say that because I wanted to warn about what's, in my opinion, going on with Mike McCarthy. Because I'm gonna talk about some things he should get credit for. And one of the things, and the obvious thing, is how the players are playing for him. And I'm gonna go through a list of things, and I'm gonna tell you something else, and I'm gonna prove it later. He should get also credit for Zimmer. Let me hit this button. He should get credit for Zimmer. Angie said, I just want Mike McCarthy to be balanced. And we go talk about that because that's one of his mistakes. See, he's not perfect and he got some stuff that he need to get smacked over. So I'm gonna deal with his sins too. I'm letting everybody know this is not a Mike McCarthy lobby. This is not me lobbying. This is me making an attempt to also bring balance as we're evaluating. That's it. I just want us to be balanced in our evaluation. That's it. So this is not me definitely co-signing Mike McCarthy in all things. Absolutely not. He is very much guilty on some things. And I'm gonna very much talk about that. But I also want to give him credit for some of the things he's done. So obviously we remember what happened with Dak. Dak is one. So here we go.
Absolutely. You played for a coach on the final year of his contract before in Jason Garrett. Now Mike McCarthy's on the final year of his contract. How do you approach that? Because you've had experience this before. And I mean, what do you expect to happen or what do you want to happen?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's about control I can control. Obviously, I'm very fortunate to be coached by Jason Garrett and to be able to reference this year to that last year in 2019 with him. It's still control what I can control, help and support Mike to every extent that I can. Obviously, it's unfortunate being hurt. Your coaches Mike to every extent that I can. Obviously, it's unfortunate being hurt. Your coach seems like he's playing out his last contract and almost feeling like, I can't help, feeling helpless and helping him in this situation, especially in a guy you believe in so much and you believe in being your head coach. But it's just continue to keep our conversations and just be real and help him in any way and help this team in any way that I can, being the leader. And obviously, it's exciting when you see notes and comments Jerry makes about there being a possibility of re-signing the coach.
And see, remember, Dak was saying this when it was unpopular to say that. Dak was coming out on his behalf just as they had their first win, and he used it as an opportunity to come out and specifically express his support for Mike McCarthy. And remember, Jerry said one of the biggest things that he's going to be looking at as he look at the coaches is he said he going to be looking at the guys that can get his biggest contract players to play better. And so it's when you got Dak coming out like that. And so look, not only Dak, Jordan Lewis did too. This was from 105.3 The Fan. Check this out. And this was from November 17th while we was majorly losing. Listen.
Yeah, it's funny. Basically what happens is I go into the locker room after the game. We just talked to Jerry Jones. It's clear that he doesn't seem to want to fire Mike McCarthy during the season, but the coach is on the final year of his contract. So he has to convince the Cowboys and the Joneses particularly to renew him. And at 3-6 with a whole lot going wrong, it didn't seem likely. So I figured I wanted some player perspective in my story and asked a few different players. Essentially, there's a lot of noise outside of the building about Mike McCarthy's job status.
So remember around November 17th, we was on a major losing streak, right? And so she said it's a lot of noise outside the building. I want to hear from some players inside the building. Because people outside, all of us was, man, fire Mike, get rid of Mike. I'm sick of Mike. Tank this thing. This is ridiculous. Can't run the ball. No identity. Soft offense. Get up out of here. But this is what they were saying on the inside.
Last year, what is the sentiment of the locker room, and what would you tell people wondering? And for example, when I asked Jordan Lewis this question, he said that as long as Mike McCarthy's at the helm, they need to keep fighting for him. It's their job to fight during the week and translate that to wins. And then you have Micah Parsons who takes this.
Yep. So that was Jordan Lewis when we was in the deepest hole. This is Jordan Lewis from yesterday.
You guys are watching today and Washington wins. Now you know you're not in the playoffs anymore. But he said, we want to play for Coach McCarthy. We want to play for each other. And tell us what that was all about.
We've been fighting for the last few weeks, and we've been playing really good ball, especially on the defensive end. And we just wanted to fight for Coach McCarthy. And like Coach Al said, we just wanted to go out there and play really good ball. And no matter what the circumstances were, we just want to go out there and show that we could play.
Jordan, you got to walk us through your interception. I want to bring the clip up because that felt like one of those moments that Tampa was just going to capture the momentum and start to.
Who did he say he was playing for? I'm just curious. Did he say he was playing for Zimmer? I'm just curious. So listen, y'all, because it was a lot of predictions. It was a lot of predictions like this whole thing was going to go melt down. This whole thing was going to fall apart. I heard the predictions. It was a lot of predictions that it's finna, this whole thing is finna fall apart. When it's the very opposite, isn't that, I'm just being honest now, isn't that something we should give Mike McCarthy major credit for? When the major people and the main people that we've been looking to, when the main people we've been looking to has been putting their stamp and saying, this is the reason why you seeing that effort that you're seeing. If one man can make a whole group of men play together, is that value? Now we go talk about the things that he doesn't do well. But let's be honest. Let's not be the center to where we can't give no credit. And they try to come up with any reason. Oh yeah, man, they just playing for a contract, man. They just playing for each other. I'm not hearing them say it's our job. We got to do this anyway. They're saying they're playing together and fighting the way that they're fighting because of this man. That is a leader. It is. Yes. When one man is calling all these men to have one heartbeat, that is a leader. I know some of us don't want to hear that, but this is the baby in that bathwater. Yeah. Now the question would be, is there something we can do to take advantage of that part of the asset that we have in Mike McCarthy? Because see, just like Angie, right? Angie raised a real good point. We can't fight this point. I just don't like his balance, right? So then if we break it down, if we just really break it down, let's just break it down. It's okay. What do you not like about Mike McCarthy? She's specific, and most people, it's going to come down to the balance, running the ball, right? Being a finesse offense, which all of that is true. That's true, right? So what if, right? What if you could have him at where he's at his best, where he's the leader and people are playing hard for him, but you take that part away, the part that you hate, right? So I already know what the devil's advocacy is going to be. It's going to be, you can't do that. You can't control coaches like that. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't micromanage like that. You shouldn't, if he want to call a plays, he's the coach. Let him call the plays. And I really do kind of understand that righteous sentiment. I had it before. And guess what? I was wrong. See, in the off season, I did a show. Are the Dallas Cowboy fans getting Zimmer or three-headed mutant Zimmer? Okay. And the reason why I did that show is because I was listening very closely at what was happening to Zimmer, and it was frustrating me because, in my opinion, at the time, Mike McCarthy was doing to Zimmer what was done to him. And I was asking a question, why is Mike McCarthy doing to Zimmer what he hated under Kellen? Because I was thinking black and white in a world that's gray. So in other words, this is, let me prove that what I'm saying is true though. Listen, watch this.
Just curious about your thoughts on Al Harris and kind of, as you're putting the staff together, how he kind of fits in.
Yeah, I had a good visit with Al and the rest of the coaches here, and he's, it's up to, obviously Mike has made the decision that these guys are going to be here. And
who made the decision?
It's up to, obviously Mike has made the decision that these guys are going to be here, and so
who made the decision? Who made the decision for some of Zimmer's staff?
The coaches here, and he's, it's up to, obviously Mike has made the decision that these guys are.
This was Zimmer's first press conference, so I'm asking a real question.
The coaches here, and he's, it's up to, obviously Mike has made the decision that these guys are going to be here, and so we had a good conversation that that he's going to still be here with us, and I'm excited to work with him. And I've heard a lot of great things about the work that he does, and really all the guys here.
And at that time, I didn't like it and was wrong. I was wrong. Yeah. Yes, it's true. Mike McCarthy did have influence on Al Harris to Zimmer. So I'm over here thinking, no, that should be up to Zimmer. Right? Well, let's ask the question. Did it work? just as simple. Did it work? Because then if it worked, that actually mean in this case, Mike McCarthy making it executive decisions actually worked to the benefit of Dallas Cowboys and Zimmer. Yeah. And so my concern of the three-headed monster was an over concern. Yeah. Because I wanted Zimmer to have all his independence. I did. Yeah, I did. I was concerned about the influence. What's my point? My whole point is sometimes if you can make a common sense executive decision that makes the unit better or the coaches better, or the coaches actually flow better, ain't nothing wrong with that. So if you do take away, let's for instance, I'm gonna talk about this at the end, but if you do take away play calling from Mike McCarthy, because Mike McCarthy has clearly shown that he doesn't change gears well, it could actually work better for you. It could. Is it perfectly? Could some of us say, well, that's being unsullied? It also could be smart. Just like it was smart when Mike McCarthy did Al Harris and Zimmer accepted it. Because it was that much a fit anyway. So sometimes your bosses have good ideas. Maybe it's a good idea that Brian Schottenheimer, who also more prone to run the ball and be balanced, is that a bad idea? He already knows your language. Yeah, Brian Schottenheimer. He's likely more prone to be what you're not. So guess what you get now? You get the part of Mike McCarthy that you like and nobody can deny. Now, some people go act like he's not a leader. Some people go be like, nah. Even though all the people are playing their ass off and saying why they playing their ass off. Why not keep that part and try to tweak the other part? I think that's possible. Yeah, and I just showed you where it worked. But if we get too black and white in a world of gray, no, he need to be able to do his own thing. No, don't get involved. I don't know. Maybe that's a just good idea. Just maybe. And we gonna talk about that. Because right now, if you not for something, what you gonna end up getting is the same thing. So you better put some ideas out there. So we clearly see that it was Mike McCarthy that made some of the decisions on the coaching staff of Zimmer, and it worked. But we also this is what you also gotta know, that it's also Mike McCarthy is the reason Zimmer is actually here. It's not front office. So everything that we loving about Zimmer, you also, to be honest, got to give Mike McCarthy some credit for that. Let me prove what I just said, because I'm not going to make statements like that without proving it.
Looking at former head coaches with something that, if you point to my history is a preference that I feel is very important. And
yeah. So yeah, and check this out.
I mean, there's only so many minutes, so many hours in a day. I know as a head coach, you're responsible for everything, but the reality is you can't be everywhere. And so I think the importance of the leadership role on defense, outside of scheme, calling games, and coaching players, there's so much more that goes on as far as the assistant coaches, and I think it's important. And obviously Mike's experience and success that he's had at every level is, once again, just makes this a great fit.
Yeah, it's Mike McCarthy is the reason Mike Zimmer is here. And he's going to specifically say why. I'm finna prove it. Listen, I don't say this stuff without proving it.
You know, Mike was always the toughest to play against, and I think anytime.
Why did you see why? It's the why.
Mike was always the toughest to play against, and I think anytime the division games are the hardest, clearly, but they're always, extra tough against Mike, particularly, just the way.
So you can see his mind state on why he wanted Mike Zimmer.
He would lay out the defense, the change up calls, and, a lot of things in football. Everybody has a menu of things you look at, but, he has a great fastball, great curveball, and a sweet change up. So
shit. Wait. Hold on. Good super chat, man. My boy dropped $20. Y'all know how to make me shut up. Hold on. For real. Boys know how to make me shut up. Boys know how to make me stop mid-sentence. You hear me? Boy dropped 20. OG, man, I appreciate it. He said, let me read this super chat. He said, boss, nobody does it better than you when it comes to breaking down the situation. My only concern with Mike McCarthy is the situation of play calling. It drives me nuts. Go Cowboys. And I do got an answer for you. It's at the end. I promise you. I got multiple solutions. I'm just kind of building up to it. It's more than one way to skin a cat. And I'm going to talk about 3 ways I can see us solving this. It's, to me, not just one. Okay. So just hang out. And I appreciate that's a fat super chat, bro, and greatly appreciate it. But now we get into the meat. This is where I'm at my best, where I'm proving it, and showing it. So, but look at this. Look at the mind state of why. And I already kind of showed it. Let me see if that boy said he got a, look at what he said at the end.
Look at, but he has a great fastball, great curveball, and a sweet changeup. So that's the way I look at it.
Whoa. Boss, that doesn't prove Mike McCarthy was behind Mike Zimmer.
I think Zim's going to do a great job with these players. Hats off to Dan. He had a great run here, but I think Zim's going to bring an edge. It was something Mike wanted.
Who wanted? Who wanted? And then, wait, see. Let's just, in case you missed it.
I think Zim's going to do a great job with these players.
What date is that? What date?
Hats off to Dan. He had a great run here.
Yeah. Hats off to Dan. Good job. Had a great run. But there was a coach who said we needed an edge. You know who that coach that said we needed edge on the D? See, I know we want to give front office credit for Zimmer, but it wasn't. It was Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy basically pulled Zimmer out of retirement because of the skill sets that he saw in Zimmer when he used to go against him at Minnesota. He said it out his own mouth. I showed it to you. Now, am I lying? Am I making this up? Or am I showing you what really happened? Let's keep going.
But I think Zim's going to bring an edge. It was something Mike wanted. And
who wanted that? Who wanted the edge? Because, see, we know Stephen Jones and Jori have no problem taking credit. We know that. They made it clear it was them. I mean, it was McCarthy. It was McCarthy that wanted Zimmer. And why? The edge that he brought, or the edge that we lacked under Dan Quinn. We didn't lack no edge, boss. We ain't lack no edge, boss. Boss, we was just fine. We was just fine. We ain't lack no edge. We wasn't loafing. This is Dan Quinn. See, I want to show you. I want to ask you, have you ever seen this type of play this year? I'm serious. Have you seen so many people walking around like this? Especially this play right here, look. Have you seen this? This was under Quinn. Look at this mess. All this standing around. This, I remember screaming at the TV when I saw this. This bullshit. Under Quinn. You ain't never saw this under Zimmer. We was missing that edge. But boss, they play hard for each other because they're under contract. You didn't see that consistently under Dan Quinn. Not if you being honest. Now, if you a sinner, you go lie. If you a sinner, you go lie. If you somebody that's, oh, yeah, it was all the same. Dan Quinn was just fine. No. We was missing the edge. We was missing that edge. Yes, we was. Don't pretend like the effort that you've been seeing the last 6 weeks, you were seeing under Dan Quinn. You was not. Now, you were seeing the takeaways. Yes, you was. You saw them. They liked Dan Quinn. Yes, they did. They did. But that effort was different. Yeah, because I was saying that before they hired Zimmer. I was saying we need Rod Marinelli effort. I was saying that before we hired Zimmer. So don't say I'm lying right now, because I know I'm telling the truth, and I got all kind of evidence that I was saying that. And y'all was saying that. Quinn did not have these dudes consistently running to the ball, and y'all know I'm telling the truth. We lacked edge. You cannot get that in the press box. You couldn't. We got us a super chat. He said, I'm saying that Mike McCarthy play calling has to mesh with Zimmer's defense philosophy. They have to play off each other to have success as a team. And that's accurate. And I'm going to talk about that. I know it seemed like I'm lobbying for for Mike McCarthy. Now, I'm just laying out the facts. This is the truth. I'm going to get to what he messes up and what he does wrong and why we need to do something about it. He's not sinless. I'm going to get to that. But I'm first showing and proving who was behind Zimmer and why if we go give Zimmer so much credit, shouldn't we give the guy credit who brought him in? And explain why he dusted him off and got him off the street?
In terms of bringing Zim in, he thought we needed, that edge there.
So Mike McCarthy thought we needed that edge.
And I think he's going to bring that to this defense and bring some guys along that I think will really help us out in terms of where we came up a little short, stopping the run, that type of deal, in our big games and the playoff game.
Yeah. So check this out.
Zimmer's been known as a tough disciplinary coach, in the past. Does he still have that edge? Have you seen that play out?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think just like anything, when you talk about, Mike Zimmer or guys that have coached in this league, through generations, there's definitely a consistency there in how he goes about it. But yeah, I think, we all recognize things are a little different today than they were 20 years ago. But no, he's definitely, that's who he is at the core.
And if players taking today, obviously it's a different change, different personality style from Dan.
Yeah, it was, and that was by design.
That was by design. Mike Zimmer different than Dan by design. And it was Mike McCarthy who designed it.
Different change, different personality style from Dan.
Yeah, it was, and that was by design. That.
Yeah. So I just showed you two sources two sources where you can see Mike McCarthy wanted a different D coordinator, because if we really being honest, it wasn't Mike McCarthy's offense that lost us the Green Bay game. It also wasn't Mike McCarthy's offense that quit. It wasn't Mike McCarthy's offense that lost that edge. I think all of us could make the case right now that if Zim had that defense as healthy as it was in that period, and the way that they playing right now for the last 6 weeks, I'm pretty certain we wouldn't have had that lay down outcome. Yeah. And it was Mike McCarthy that said why, and Mike McCarthy is the one that brought him in. Yeah. And then let's ask this question. As we're evaluating, should that be in the gumbo of Mike McCarthy in terms of head coaching skills? If we being fair, should we put that in the gumbo as we trying to figure out the future? Should we consider that? Or are we going to sin and not give that no credit? Or we go just ignore that? Or we go be like, or we go minimize it? Like anybody could do that. Come on, boss. Boss, that's nothing. Yeah, this edge that we've been seeing, edge smedge, anybody can do that. Nah, I think it's just fair and appropriate to give Mike McCarthy credit for pulling Zimmer off the shelf. The whole NFL left him on the shelf to die. And it was a head coach that was like, hey, I remember this guy. He used to give me fits. Plus, he used to schematically, he's the boy. Shh, that boy was something. Yeah. Hey, I know ain't nobody talking about him, but yeah, I know a lot of people might think he washed up, but I'm telling you, that man got a young mind. Yeah, this guy Zimmer, hey, Jerry, Stephen, this dude right here, nobody believes in him. Nope. But, you should have seen, boy, when I was going against him, pulled him off the shelf. See, ain't a lot of people ain't gonna tell you that though. See, right now what people are doing is we starting to isolate Zimmer from Mike McCarthy when they should also, to a degree, be a little bit leg and leg a little bit. If we been, yeah. See, look, this is why I do this. Look at this. Because I knew a lot of people didn't know this. He said, wow, I had no idea. I like Mike McCarthy even more now. Yeah. And listen, I'm proving it. I'm showing it to you. It's undeniable. You can't deny it. I'm showing it. It's the facts. It's not made up. See, now I'm going to show you just a little bit more. See, let me show you this. Watch this again. I want to show you this one more time. Watch this. And then let's look at something else.
Mike was always the toughest to play against, and I think anytime the division games are the hardest, clearly, but they're always, extra tough against.
Hold on real quick. Dre be having the best comments, bro. Dre, that boy say, Zimmer had Mike throwing clipboards. Boy, let me clap it up. That's it, brother. That's it. You hit it right on the head, bro. Yup. Zimmer had that boy throwing clipboards, and he remembered it, bro. And he pulled him off the shelf. We ain't gonna give him no credit for that. My boy landlord in the building. Landlord OG in the building. Being landlord talked for about an hour or two today talking about, listen, man, we love this team, man. We be working behind the scenes, bro. We be dead serious about this. Shoot, dead serious. My boy landlord is in the building. What's up, my brother?
Mike was always the toughest to play against, and I think anytime the division games are the hardest, clearly, but they're always, extra tough against Mike, particularly, just the way he would lay out the defense, the change-up calls, and, a lot of things in football. Everybody has a menu of things you look at, but, he has a great fastball, great curveball, and a sweet change-up. So that's the way I look at it.
Ooh-wee. Boss, they playing boss. Man, come on. They playing for each other, boss. They playing for each other, boss. Man, they was gonna play hard regardless. There ain't no way they was gonna loaf. This the NFL. They don't loaf, boss. They don't loaf. They don't loaf, boss. And see, notice the schematic. Notice the schematic. See, he talks schematic. Now listen to Zimmer. Listen to Zimmer on the Doomsday podcast. Listen, y'all. Listen.
Try to get, in a lot of the games last year where they didn't play quite as good defensively.
So a lot of the games last year where they didn't play as good defensively. Listen.
The offensive schemed Parsons a lot. The back was checking, and coming over here or they got the two tight ends over there and they're both staying and all the protections turned that way. So our job is to, if teams are going to do that, number one, figure out a way how we can still use him where we want him, and number two, how can we use other people to affect those kind of protections.
Oh my. See, when you listen to this in hindsight, oh. See, it's one thing to hear it as a vision. It's another thing to hear it in hindsight. Hold on real quick. He say, Chris 214 say, if Cowboys actually load up offensive skill positions with actual talent, does he deserve another shot at OC? Chris, you ahead of me, bro. Don't get ahead of me, bro. See, Chris, you a true executive, bro. You can't be beating me to my own presentation, my dog. Okay? You can't do that. But you did it. Cause you a real executive, bro. Y'all clap it up, bro. See, this is why I tell y'all, I be loving y'all, bro. We got these smartest damn fans in the world. I'm not capping. I'm not sucking up to y'all, bro. It is real. The executives are the smartest. I'm talking about, man, we got the smartest fans in the damn world. You already ahead of me. Landlord had that same idea. Listen, I'm finna bring it to y'all, man. Y'all just wait. I told y'all the solution's coming at the end. But man, check this out. Listen at him.
Because everybody's going to be aware of him, just like I talked about in the A-gap. Everybody knows where he is. There's number 11, right? So, okay, so we're turning the protection this way. And now, how are we going to defeat that protection? And typically, when we started with the double A gaps and when I was here with Parcells, part of it was, how can we attack protections?
How can we attack protections? Wait. Shout out to the Doomsday podcast. Wait. See, now let's think about what's going on in hindsight. See, that was foresight. And that's when we was listening like, sounds good. Now let's think about how they using Micah and what has happened since Micah has returned. Since Micah has returned, your Dallas Cowboys lead the entire league in sacks. Why? Because Zimmer schematically he has learned how to obliterate protections with Micah Parsons. See, under Dan Quinn, it was about Micah Parsons and what he could do individually. Under Zimmer, it's the power of Micah and what he means to the unit and how he opens up the unit. It's a totally different thing, and it's working. And guess who already knew he was like that?
Mike was always the toughest to play against, and I think anytime the division games are the hardest, clearly, but they're always.
Who had the vision? Don't play with me, y'all. That's if we being fair. Now, if you one of them sinners who don't like to give credit when it's in your face, well, you go just ignore. You gonna know this. If you one of them, don't give any credit. Where this man is clearly showing that he clearly called before it was gonna happen what's happening now. He said this man was giving me fits.
Mike was always the toughest to play against. And I think anytime the division games are the hardest, clearly, but they're always, extra tough against Mike. Particularly, just the way.
Who pulled him off the shelf? Who pulled him off the shelf? I'm asking a question.
And it's getting a lot of the other players to understand, hey, this is where the protection's going now. You guys have one-on-ones over here, or we have 3 one-on-ones with the back on this side. So how can we do that? And it's partly going to be their job to understand that, okay, we've got the slide going this way. We're man over here. What game are we going to run to affect those 2 players? Because it's 2-on-2 now.
Boss, he's old. I don't want no old coach. Do that sound old to you? See, when you can say beforehand, this is how we go give team fits, and you do it, shouldn't. Yup. Exactly. Do your job so others can have success doing theirs. See, because it's a lot of people, they still judging, and they're judging Micah Parsons as an individual. That's where we messing up. See, remember Jori said last week, the coaches I'm going with are the people that really showcase the people that I paid. See, Zimmer is showing I got a system that really know how to really maximize Micah Parsons. See, Dan Quinn limited ass system was about trying to get the most individual sacks. No, Zimmer is about, we go sometimes use Micah Parsons as a decoy because we're turning protections and we're trying to get looks that's going to cause us to be able to take advantage and give all kind of pressures, sacks, and disruptions because of Micah Parsons. And Mike McCarthy knew this the entire time. My boy landlord said, he said, that boy Zim cold. Yeah, bro, when you see this in hindsight, bro, it's different. It's one thing to look at it when he first said it, like, that sounds real dope, what he plans to do, right? But then when you see him doing it, landlord, you be like, ooh, say that boy Zim. Zim saw this whole vision in August. What we seeing now, he already saw the vision, bro. And Mike knew he was like this. His defense got tangible things we can pack up and take to the playoffs, not just surviving off turnovers. And man, I can't wait to Boss Land. I don't know if we're doing it this week because of Christmas, but I already know we gonna smash Boss Land if we do it this week. But I'm just laying out the whole case. So listen, if you watching Boss Cowboy Sports, because I am gonna deal with the bad play calling. I am. I'm not going. This is not a lobby for Mike McCarthy. This show is not a lobby. This is not why he should stay. No, that's not what I'm doing. What I'm doing is I'm laying out all the information so that as we approaching the end of the season, we're informed. We're not one-dimensional, or we're not being led by people that just want us in our feelings, right? We are making cases based on knowledge, based on facts, based on the big picture, based on real solutions, not just emotional stuff. So, let me kind of start bringing this home, okay? Because see, now y'all can clearly see I've made the case. It's undeniable. It's all facts and documented, and I proved it. That it was Mike McCarthy behind Zimmer. Mike McCarthy clearly saw the value of Zimmer, and it was Mike McCarthy that dusted him off the shelf and pulled this coaching value into the Dallas Cowboys again. In my opinion, he should also share credit with Zimmer. Not take it, but share it. Because it was the vision of Mike McCarthy that said we wanted a defensive coordinator that was going to bring edge. Now, I want to also talk about something that Brian Broaddus talked about. This is the risk of some of the ideas that's out there. The overhaul idea. See, because Brian Broaddus visited the final word. He's doing great work right now, him and Watch. They doing great work. He visited the final word and he asked a question. He said, what do y'all think is the biggest risk going into next year? Okay. And we all gave our opinions. Anybody know me should probably guess what my opinion was. I said politics. I still think it's the Our Guys philosophy. But Brian Broaddus, he raised a good point. He talked about the coaching, and turnover at coaching can cause a lot of problems. Because a lot of people, when we talking about trying to fix the team, we talk about the top. We talk about get rid of Mike McCarthy. But we got to also look at the sub coaches as well. And that's what Brian Broaddus made a case for. And he was talking about this on the final word. So let me play it. Y'all check it out.
And I trust me, I hope Mike pulls it together. I really do. I don't hate Mike McCarthy. There's things, I've been at 2 organizations where he's been. So I know a lot about the man. Okay? I know a lot about the man. Yeah. But he's won 25 games in 2 years. Right. But man, he made a big Jori said, listen, I'm not interested in paying Joe Philbin no $2 million a year. Gone. Oh, by the way, hey.
Let me ask you a question. Let's keep it real now. Keep it real time. Brian Broaddus warned about the coaching swaps and how that could affect the team. If you could do it over again, who would you want? Philbin or Mike Solari? Because, see, that was one of the ball drops, in my opinion, in this coaching fight, in this coaching swing. And Brian Broaddus warned about it. And he said it could be outcomes from that. So I want to see y'all answer. I say Philbin. Because that offensive line was acting a nut under Philbin. Pollard and Zeke was the leading rushers in the league. That was still debut. And he was the one who had the courage to lobby for the undrafted tackle who was better than La'el Collins. And it wasn't popular. That's who we lost in the coaching fight. And we paying for it today.
Hey, Mike, you need to get rid of that Rob Davis, the guy who's the assistant head coach. Gone. Wow. Oh, wait, by the way, Jori, I think I'm going to get rid of Leon Lett, who was one of your favorites. Gone.
Did Leon Lett hurt? One of your favorites. See, when we talking about getting rid of these head coaches, you got to remember, you also getting rid of sometimes these sub coaches too. I'm going to make a case on the sub coaches. I'm going to make a good case on the sub coaches. That's an easy case to me. But let's keep listening.
You see what's going on with that staff a little bit?
We're prisoners. Wasn't he just pissed?
See my face? See, because he was talking about that sloppy, petty fight when Kellen Moore was lobbied to get out of here by Mike McCarthy. And they started, according to Brian Broaddus, and Brian Broaddus laid out a good case, that they was exchanging prisoners for prisoners And it was some casualties. It was some people that we should have kept, that we had to replace, that we crying about right now. So let's look at this coaching staff. Just some of them. What do y'all think of the job that Jeff is doing right now? What y'all think of Jeff and what's going on with them DTs? What do y'all think about the consistency we've been seeing with these DTs and the improvement over the last 6 weeks? Y'all want to risk that? Because, see, we got a similar setup to Detroit. If you look close, we got a lot of former player coaches. That's a say, man. It's something about talking to some people that's done it. Yeah, I'm seeing my boy Common Sense with the thumbs up. See, we like Jeff and we should like Jeff, but it's more than Jeff. It's also this guy who's a Zimmer guy, right?
What's the benefit of you and Jeff having played the position?
I think it's a huge benefit. You know what I mean?
What's the benefit of you and Jeff being players, coaches?
Jeff obviously handles more of, interior guys, and Jeff is the lead one. I'm assistants to him. I say that first and foremost. But I think it's a tremendous blessing, if you would, because we can tell you the play that we have to do that Zim has that he called, but we also can tell you little techniques and how to be more productive at executing that deal.
We ain't just got no whack coaches, man. We got dudes who can show you, not just coach you, show you.
Remember when Ellis started doing like jujitsu or something? Was that, I don't know if it was 03 or 04, but I imagine that even maybe helped some of the hands and that kind of thing.
Yeah, and if you see him walking down the hallway now, he's still doing stuff like this. You
wax on.
You think he's talking to somebody, But and I've had him come to training camp with me before, when I was the head coach. So I know what he can do and the way that he teaches, and he's outstanding.
So let me run through this quick. I ain't gonna take all day and make the cases on these coaches, but to me, most of your coaching staff is so Jeff. Who go complain about Jeff? Only a sinner. Only a sinner. Now we can complain about Scott because Scott was clearly one of Mike McCarthy's guys. But guess what? He also allows Zimmer to clean it up. See, them linebackers were playing dirt trash under Scott McCurley last year. They playing like God under Paul Gunter this year. So it looked like that was cleaned up. My boy Weewu said, whoever picked this running back need his ass whooped. Yeah, I got him on the list. I ain't gonna leave nothing out, bro. Listen, I'm gonna talk about it all, bro. Good and bad, right? So this ain't no bias presentation. But let's keep it real though. How y'all liking them linebackers on the Paul Gunter now? Come on now. Hold on now. Let me. How you liking them linebackers on the? Come on now. I need somebody to talk to me. I need the church to talk to me. Can I get an amen? Oh, I can't get no amen up in here. I can't get no offering. I can't get no run it up.
Run it up.
I can't get no switching up.
If we locked in, then no switching up.
Okay. So we ain't gonna show Paul Gunter no love. Overshawn gone and Maurice stepping up to the point we don't even miss Overshawn. Are you kidding me? This is what we want to potentially overhaul. I've been for real. This is what we want to overhaul. We want to overhaul Al Harris. It was Mike McCarthy who brought in Joe Witt. I don't know what Mike McCarthy was thinking with Jeff Blasco. I'm serious. I'm just being honest, bro. Mike McCarthy. Hey, you dropped that ball, big dog. It was his vision. And Zeke to this day is being blamed for his vision of running back by committee. I proved that last week, bro. It's so sad that Zeke is getting the full blame for what Jeff did. Jeff was the one who said he was going to be alternating the running backs. Jeff was the one who said Zeke could make the call whenever he wanted to play. And they are shooting Zeke down right now and hate Zeke all because of Jeff. And that's a fact. I'm not lying. And I proved it. I showed the clips where he directly quoted everything I said. That's why we got to be measured, y'all. I'm telling you. You can't move with emotion right now. And you can't fall for content where people not proving it, where they making these cases, but they not proving it. They just giving their opinions with passion, but they not showing it. I show my work. What about Linda Wells? Now, come on now. Don't you act stupid. That's so easy. Listen, y'all. Y'all know Schoon has greatly improved. Everybody hated Schoon. Everybody. Rightfully so. But Linda Wells be working that magic, dog. Y'all, we want to play with that? I don't think that's nothing to play with. I still don't know what Brian Schottenheimer is. I saw him up close and I loved it. He was directly involved with the offense and he was coaching the details. But I would want to see him as a play caller, man. I'm going to talk about that in just a second. But I brought up all them coaches because we finna get down to the solutions, all right? And the truth, okay? Now we finna get down to the truth. This is the moment y'all been waiting for. This is what my boy Chris 214 been waiting for. This is what I've seen y'all talk about. And it's how you finish. And it's the reason why I labeled this the truth on Mike and Mike. And you got to ask yourself, did you learn some truth today that you didn't hear nowhere else? Did you learn some truth on the real story behind Zimmer today? Because there's some things that I know I put out today is not said. And just say, Schoon, all right. Schoon way better than last year. He way better than last year. He got to work on that blocking. But them hands, way better. Way better, Edge. You know it. So this is what y'all been waiting for. This is the good part. So now, because I laid it all out, we got to talk about adjustments for the potential decisions in the future. Do we go with continuity or overhaul? Because now let's talk about why people are rightfully angry at Mike McCarthy. If you angry at Mike McCarthy, you have a right to be. Mike McCarthy has preached balance for 2 years. And when it was time to show it, especially to protect a injured defense, he was consistently the opposite of it. That's extremely frustrating. We feel lied to. It makes him look incompetent. And it also looks like the very opposite of Zimmer. Because what did we see with Zimmer from the clips that I played? We saw Zimmer say how he was going to use Micah and do it. In other words, we saw execution of the vision. We saw a vision and a clear vision of how to use the best guys, and we see currently him doing it. Now, Mike McCarthy, you hear the vision, but you don't see the execution. Hence the fan frustration. And it's legit. It's legit. If you're angry about him as play caller this year, it is legit. If you are angry about play calling from last year, you are a damn liar. In my opinion, Mike McCarthy had the number one offense. And I believe defenses do what they always do. They study the biggest risk. The two biggest risks on offense last year, Kansas City because they won it all, and the Dallas Cowboys and Miami because they statistically was the best. What happened to all three of those offenses? What happened? What happened to all three of those offenses? Why is Kansas City offense not what it was last year? So, what's my point? Yep, Chris 214 said it declined. Which, if you somebody that think we need to change the offense, you probably got a good case. You got, actually not probably, you got a good case. Did they figure you out? So let's talk about some solutions if we're being honest. Because we talked about, should we go with the continuity or overhaul? When I go through all the potential coaches, I honestly don't like overhaul as an idea. I'm just being honest. Now, tweak, yes. Jeff Blasco, yeah, you can. That committee, you got to wear that, buddy. But when I look at the quality of the sub coaches that we got, I'm leaning towards continuity over overhaul. But what we're hearing mostly is overhaul it, boss. Get rid of them. Everybody. Wait. Get rid of Mike McCarthy and let this new coach bring in his old guys. I'm leaning continuity plan. Maybe overhaul it if the continuity plan don't work. But I'm leaning to the continuity plan. So let's talk about some continuity options and some adjustments. And this is where I told you my boy Chris 214 was ahead of me. I wasn't lying. This was already in the presentation. Weapon of Mike. A lot of y'all don't want to hear that. But that I'm giving you, I told you I got 3 possible solutions. I told you I got 3 possible. Quack. This is also going into your super chat for earlier, talking about the offense. This goes, yeah, and I see, man, listen, all of us, when we think through all the details, that's why I went through this whole presentation. Overhaul don't really make sense when you really break down everything. When you measure all the Kool-Aid, let me hit my button. It's a big thing for Boss Cowboy to actually say publicly that he drunk Kool-Aid. Listen, I do not drink Kool-Aid without first measuring. Ain't no way you can measure. If you measured all that Kool-Aid and looked at the sub coaches and Zimmer and the continuity and Linda Wells and so option one, weapon up Mike. What that mean? We know Mike likes to throw the ball. We know that. Now, it's a lot of people that believe there's only one way to win a championship, and that's physical running the ball. And if it's not that, they don't believe in it. But I'm going to tell you, it's more than one way. You could actually win championships with finesse ball too. I know y'all don't want to hear that, but it has happened. And is it fair to Chris 214 point to have an OC that we know likes to throw the ball, but you give him very average number 2s and number 3s? Could the answer be to weapon up Mike? Jermichael Finley said that when they won the championship, they had 6 number 1s, and he named them, and it was 6. That could be an adjustment. And if we choose that as an adjustment, that means you gotta keep Mike McCarthy as play caller. And if you choose this, though, in my opinion, I think you should give him into the trade deadline next year to try to get his offense to work. That's if you choose number 1. Because you weapon up Mike and then you have Brian Schottenheimer as the contingency plan. The reason why I say use Brian as a contingency, because we know he's the total opposite of Mike McCarthy in his tendencies. His tendency is to run the ball. He is that guy that's going to get you 30 attempts. 30 attempts is not new. McVay has it. Shanahan has the same philosophy. Most of the people from the Schottenheimer tree believes in 30 attempts. Because 30 attempts and rushing attempts, not even touches, the rushing attempts is important because 30 allows teams to know that they are on track to have a physical presence. I know it sounds too simple, but it's really just like that. 30 is a number that, if you really hone in on, allows you to know that you stayed on pace for a physical team. That's where Brian is from. That's why they complain to let Russ cook, because people felt like they could get a better offense if they allowed Russ to throw it more. That's how much they tied Russ' hands in terms of their commitment to the run game. And so it's another coach that I would be open to. I would be open to Pete Carroll. Very much so. Very much so. Yeah. Especially if Pete could keep a majority of his staff or was open to it. I like the thought of Pete. Pete go run that ball. When Russell Wilson was starting to get Hollywood, Pete was like, psh. But Brian Hush is the same way. So that's plan 1, and that goes to Chris 214. Okay? Some of y'all hate that plan, and that's fine. That's why I'm giving you 3 options. Because this is still Mike McCarthy as play caller, with Brian Schottenheimer as the contingency. Number 2, Brian Schottenheimer as play caller now, and you strip play calling right now from Mike McCarthy. That's option 2. This is the option I want to see right now. I want to see it these last 2 games. Or if you bring back Mike McCarthy, I would want play call and take it from him. I'm more so a number 2 man. I'm more like a number 2 man. Because see, with the number 2 option, in my opinion, you get the best of both worlds. In my opinion. You get the man that everybody plays hard for. And you get the OC that actually knows how to change gears and is wired that way. And you don't have to worry about the indecisiveness that we saw. And Angie now feels better. Because see, Angie ain't got no problem with Mike McCarthy. She got a problem with his balance. Meaning I got a problem with him as play caller. So if we take the play caller and we keep the good, and see, this goes back to what I said at first. Because some people gonna be like, no, you can't do that. You can't make Brian Schottenheimer the OC because what you're doing is you are unsullying Mike McCarthy. It's a big difference. See, we gave Mike McCarthy ample opportunity to show himself as a quality OC. He was the one that was talking about 30 is important and only did it 3 times this year. See, Zimmer's different. Zimmer is executing his vision. Mike McCarthy's play caller is not. So since I've already observed you and I've given you plenty of rope, it's time for me to take some of my rope back. So I'm actually not unsullying you. I gave you an opportunity to show me that you could be that guy, and I'm not seeing it. So therefore, front office has to, right in my opinion, to make the switch. Your language stays the same. You ain't teaching Dak a whole new, you ain't teaching, you just changing the person who has a better tendency to change gears. That's what you change. This is a continuity plan. This is where you're trying to, instead of just overhauling and cutting it off and starting from scratch and you're risking good coaches with bad coaches potentially. My boss say, Sly, Brian Schottenheimer wasn't there for the Super Bowl. Hey, when somebody called me Sly, man, somebody went back in the day, boy. Only the OGs know me as Sly. Yeah. Sly B. It always been boss. But yeah, my nickname back in the hood was Slide B. But anyway, yeah, he wasn't there for the Super Bowl. But what we trying to do is tweak. Cause see, we already know what Mike McCarthy is. What did Mike McCarthy do yesterday? What did he do yesterday? He was way off balance again. We won the game, but man, it was close. And see, because I had no problem with pass happy in the first half. I had no problem. Why? It worked. I had no problem with finesse. Why? It worked. I had no problem. Just like I had no problem with pass happy last year. Why? It was number 1 in the league. I had no problem with it. It gave me 35 points in the loss in the playoffs. I wasn't mad at it. I was mad at it in that second half because Coach Marvin made a good point. He said it's about, can it sustain? And I was like, probably ain't gonna sustain. It ain't gonna probably sustain, and it didn't. That pass happy did not last. Yeah. So that's what we doing, Raw Texas. That's what we doing. This is a continuity plan. This is a plan of how to keep the good, throw away the bad. Yeah. And so some people, no, boss, you can't do that. I already showed y'all that I was wrong. I already showed y'all that Zimmer did this. I mean, that Mike McCarthy did the same thing to Zimmer, and it worked. And I complained about it. Why is Mike McCarthy doing to Zimmer what he hated under Kelly? I was wrong. It worked. If it worked, why am I mad? It shows you that I was thinking black and white when this world is gray. Just keeping it real. I was too black and white in a gray world. Some of us need to go ahead and start thinking in the gray. We need to start thinking kind of outside the box. I don't think it need to be black and white. You just can't just take play calling from Mike McCarthy. That's unsullying him. He deserve it. Shit, I need to think in the gray, man. I need to be creative. I need to maybe look from within and say, what are some ways for us to solve this? And I think we got a plan that can be implemented that might tweak us and make us way better. We would at least be way more balanced. And let me tell y'all something. For those who still think this is a passing league, you have been left behind. If you still thinking the NFL is a passing league, the league has left you. The league is officially a running league. Your best teams run the ball. Yeah. So while we've been pushing for pass happy, it might be time to put in a guy that's actually more aligned. Because let me ask y'all a question. Wasn't Seattle committed to being a running team even during the evolution of the passing league? Did they ever change who they were? I'm asking the question. Did Seattle ever change who they were? No. So if you wanna stop being behind and catch up to the physicality of this new NFL offensive coordinator, that same one that Mike Marks talked about, to where he would get an H-back and he would go splatter these little linebackers, Brian Schottenheimer is actually your fit, and Mike McCarthy currently is not. Number 3. Zimmer as head coach, hire an OC or Brian Schottenheimer. That's option 3. And this is the continuity plan. So I got 3 continuity plans. 1, weapon up Mike, Brian as a contingency. 2, Brian as the play caller, Schottenheimer now. And that's where you get Mike McCarthy as the leader and the guy that they play hard for. And you take away his crutch, which is him as the OC, where likely the NFL has caught up to him. Just being honest. Or you get rid of him altogether and go with Zimmer as head coach. Because Paul Gunter was a former DC before too with the Bengals. Never forget that. We got some stuff in house that can remain, y'all. We don't have to me, overhaul everything. I think Zimmer has impressed enough to look within. Just keeping it real. So I don't like the overhaul plan. Because I know we even discussed like Vrabel. We discussed Vrabel as an option. And I thought about it. Vrabel is a defensive coach. I would like us likely with a defensive coach and a real good OC. I wouldn't be mad at that. But then I start thinking about, why did Vrabel get fired? And y'all remember one of the things they talked about, that he was intimidating the people in front office? Y'all remember that? And I'm thinking to myself, if you was butting heads with Tennessee front office, as controlling Steven and Jori is, would he have the political savviness to survive in controlling Dallas? Because if we didn't have the front office and the way that they like to involve themselves, I could see Vrabel. But when I think about working with Jori and Steven, it has a smell to it. And I'm just, so it's like the coaches that actually have worked with Jori and Steven is Mike McCarthy and Zimmer. I think both know how to work with Jori and Steven. And this is the main thing that I'm starting to see and like out of both of them. You know what I'm seeing this year that I haven't seen in previous years? I'm seeing more bastard love. I'm seeing more free agent love. See, it's impressive on the free agents that are getting opportunities under Zimmer. See, bastards are being treated like sons under Zimmer. Butler was a bastard. And Butler got priority over drafted guys. Tyler Guyton is a son. Chuma is a bastard. But on that tackle, guess who getting that rotation? Hey, I haven't seen this in years past. It's looking like, and I'm keeping it real, it looked like Zimmer and Mike McCarthy has earned some rope with front office that previous administrations didn't get. That they have earned some trust with front office. Yeah, I'm seeing the embracing of the bastards, Dre. Yup. On the offensive side and the defensive side. And y'all know I keep a close eye on that. So, let me try to see if my phones work. I'm going to try to get y'all on the phones today. But, what's y'all thoughts between option 1, 2, and 3? And what's your thoughts on continuity plan or an overhaul? When I measure all the Kool-Aid, I'm leaning towards the continuity. Because see, this is the thing especially that's kind of frustrating about the overhaul plan and the people that might lobby for just overhaul everything. Just get rid of the OC. Get rid of the head coach. And if he bring in a new DC and OC, that's fine. We got to trust it. My problem is you can never get those people to tell you who their head coach is usually. And you definitely can't tell them to break down who they sub coaches could be. You can't. It makes me not trust their plan. Because let me tell you something. If I went through all this work to think through the details, I think I deserve the same details in return. Is that fair? Isn't that fair? If I've put all this thought into the details to state my case, I don't think it's right for you to just tell me I want a young coach. I don't think it's right for you to even just name a coach and don't name even who his potential sub coaches could be. I think, honestly, that's kind of lazy, to be honest, man, if you're talking to me. Like, ain't no way I'm going to do all this work and then let you just kind of half-ass me. I'm not. You're going to have to do research like I did. You're going to have to think through the full thing like I did. You're going to have to go look at the history like I did. I'm not even listening or entertaining half-cooked plans. Not with us having 2 games left to maybe having to make the decision. At this point, I think we need to get for real about some real options. And we need to get for real about some real research. I'm not interested in half-cooked plans. I'm not. Most of y'all saying option 2. I feel the same way. I'm on option 2. If the season ended today, give me Brian Schottenheimer right now. And matter of fact, I want to see Brian Schott for the next 2 games. I would want to see him display what he could potentially be. I want to see it now. We're not going to the playoffs. We're not going to the playoffs. Why not? Yeah, this would be a good time to see what Brian Schottenheimer can do. Yeah, because you got basically Mike McCarthy out there showing what he could do with Cooper Rush. Man, you ain't doing him no favors anyway. For real. You know, and you out there gunning it. Now, to Cooper Rush credit, Cooper Rush been throwing the ball way better. So, it's, you know. But going forward, they definitely go with who they believe is going to give them their best chance to win. I would want to see Brian Schottenheimer. I would. I would want to see, could he run the offense differently? Could he run it differently? It's almost like playing Tekken. Like, I'm a Tekken head. I play the mess out some Tekken. Some people real good playing with Heihachi. You know. Some people good playing with King. You know what I'm saying? It's when you jump on the sticks, I want to see the difference between we playing the same game, we got the same playbook, but is it the style that makes the difference? I want to see it. I would want to see it, especially because Brian Schottenheimer, shoot, man, he's offensive coordinator, man. He know the language. He know all of that. This would be a good test, man. I would want to see. I'm like y'all. I'm all for 2. All right, let me try to get these phones going real quick. Y'all give me 1 second, man. I said I was gonna test these phones. Y'all give me a second. But I will say this. It's gonna really be about how they finish, to be honest. What do people remember? People never remember the flow of the game that led to the end. People always remember what? The very end. We all remember when Zeke was playing center and he got ran through. That stayed with Kellen Moore, didn't it? We all remember when Dak tried to scramble on that last play and he slid and ran out the clock. That's what's gonna really, honestly, in my opinion, determine the fate of Zimmer and Mike McCarthy. It's gonna be how they finish. And I'm talking about the very end. Whatever is stuck in the mind of the fans and the media on that final week, I think that's going to determine the fate. Because the talking point of whatever's happened is going to be the main thing. Even though this was a big win, and it was a giant win. We beat a team that needed to win, and we had no need to win. And we was more physical when they was playing for something. That's impressive. But nah, I ain't falling for it. I ain't falling for it at all. I think it's going to truly, again, come down to the end. All right, y'all give me 1 second. I'm trying to fix these phones real quick. Here we go. All right. Hold on real quick. I'm gonna try something different. Okay. All right. Oh no. All right, so let me try these phones real quick. Y'all give me 1 second.
The bottle, it be going right through me. Brown baby down to take a flight to me. They think that I'm stunting, but it's slight to me. Piling paper, got them talking nice to me. Guess that's why the labels want the rights to me. CD on my back and it feel light to me. They think that I'm stunting, but it's slight to me.
Alright, man. I ain't tested these phones, so this gonna be the test is y'all. So I got the phone line open. Y'all first let me know if the phone's working. I need somebody to call in. It's that same number, 617-769-8775. So I see Chris 214. Alright, hold on real quick. Chris 214. Cause Chris 214, I see you, bro. I don't hear you. Hold on quick. Yo, Chris. Alright, man. I'm failing the test. Y'all give me 1 second. Stay with me, Chris. Try to get these phones going, man. Listen, man. This stuff be technical. Listen, and I had to switch. Cause I don't hear nothing in my ears or nothing. I'm sorry, y'all. You say you hear the music? You say you hear the elevator music? Okay, I don't hear that at all. Hold on. You know what? Hold on. Hello? Hello? Can y'all hear me? Okay, I don't hear y'all. So I'm failing the test. So I'm not gonna stay on this. I'm gonna have to fix this after hours, y'all. I'm so sorry, y'all. I'm gonna have to fix this after hours. I'm gonna have to figure out what's going on with my phones, and I don't have time to test it while I'm live. I think that'd be a goofy ass move. So anyway, man, listen, y'all, I tried. I told y'all I was gonna try to see if I can get the phones to work. The stuff be technical, man. Let me, we ain't gonna be able to do it this time. But within the next 2 days, I'm gonna definitely get it fixed, cause obviously with it being Christmas Eve and all that kind of stuff, I'm gonna be kind of chilling and kind of working on my stuff. You feel me? So I apologize, y'all, man, for not being able to get these phones in there. Y'all just be a little bit more patient with me. I know. My boy say, damn it, boss. I know, bro. I wanted them phones bad because the phone's the best part. It really is. I really apologize, y'all. In the meantime, man, it's all about how you finish. And I think, I think we now have enough information to kind of, to me, make an educated, at least a thorough thought process and kind of weigh all and measure all the Kool-Aid. Because I'm just being honest, I don't think most of people are covering Mike McCarthy fairly and honestly. I think most people kind of falling for the ego. I think a lot of people in this time have bet against Mike. And it's because of, anger, also what he did to himself, and some of it is him. Some of it is him, right? But now, because we likely have bet against him, it's gonna be hard for people to recognize some of the good things that I said today, because they're sinners. They're sinners. And what they're gonna do, some of them, they not gonna give him no credit. They would watch this whole show and they would look at the whole evidence and they would pretend they didn't see it, because they're sinners. They're sinners to the book. They're in their egos and they can't give him no credit, none. It is nothing good about him. Everything everything bad his fault, everything good is somebody else. They go name call too. It's somebody somewhere calling me a Mike McCarthy lover. And I think I was balanced. I think I was very honest. I think I gave the good and the bad on Mike McCarthy and a solution that I feel like is one of the best solutions. I don't like the overhaul idea, especially a half thought out overhaul idea. I don't like it. I want to tweak this thing. Yep. And you can't change some of their opinion. As long as we like that, we not gonna be a nation and we not gonna have the best voices. How can I say your voice matter and I don't spend no time talking about how to be a smart voice and the best voice? And the best voice to me are voices that's not biased. Voices that don't fall in love with their idea. Voices that they bet against you, but if you change, they can also change. But it's too many of us, I'm being honest, that when we bet against you, we stay on you. We stay on your necks. We never let you up. We never give you credit. When we become the little kid, the me, I was right. And we not willing to be wrong, our voices actually become toxic. We'll start sabotaging good things. We'll start embellishing the bad and ignoring the good. I don't trust people that don't never have nothing good to say, even when it's good. Something about that ain't right. You gotta be able to, if your voice is for the best, you have to be able to see the good and the bad.
Boss Cowboy Sports, where your voice matters.
Love, moving too bossy, we don't tread softly, but not flossy, the streets that taught me, moving too bossy, we don't tread softly, but not flossy, the streets that taught me, I'm just tryna get my nigga paid. We came from Section 8, and I knew I was at since the second grade. Man, I swear my time is coming, cause I'm never late. Came from broken homes and broken dreams to getting paid. Love, dollar bill, listen close, this is not a drill. Cause hungry trying to get a meal. I've been in light, who gon' pay a bill? I've been in action, been in traction, surplus with niggas lacking, shining light but still be blacking, red lights will stop the action, grand to go, even